How to grow fruit trees and edible plants without using synthetic fertilizers and chemicals in your garden. We're going to show you our 10 favorite methods plus 2 bonus methods so that you can start growing your own food without chemicals. Today I'm going to share 10 methods that we use to keep our plants and trees healthy without the use of any chemical inputs or synthetic fertilizers. We both grew up surrounded by synthetic fertilizers and chemicals, and when we started growing our own food to supplement what we feed our kids, it was very important to us that we took a different route. We love our plants, we love our fruit trees, we love growing our own food, and the older we get, the more frustrating it becomes to walk into the grocery store and pick up fruits and vegetables and food in general for our family and feeling bad about it because of all the chemicals that we know have been put on these foods. And no, we can't afford to buy pure organic foods because we're in a teacher's budget and we've got 5 kids. So that's one of the reasons why we started growing a lot of food in the beginning. I always said that I did not want to farm. That's until I realized that I didn't have to farm the way my parents and grandparents did before me. I can go back to how they did before that. I can grow plants naturally without all of these chemicals that are just being put into our food system. And so that's what we've done. Sure, we still buy a lot of food because we are not self-sufficient. We aim to be, but to be self-sufficient, we need more space. We need to be able to put our fruit trees in the ground because we do grow a lot of our fruit trees in pots because we have not found the final spot for them. And because of that, they do not provide as much as they would if they were in the ground. But we keep them happy and healthy until we can find that final resting spot for them. I'm going to take you around the food forest today and show you what we do to minimize any inputs from outside of the food forest, our gardens, a little family farm here. And hopefully you guys will get some ideas for how you can do the same at home in your gardens. Before I show you the methods that we use, I want to ask all of you to please hit that like button, because every time you watch our videos, hit the like button, share, save, and even just watching the videos to the end, you help support our dream of expanding the Fertilizers family farm. And we can't wait to take you guys along on a journey. The future is scary, but it's also very exciting, and there's something about trying to reach your dreams when it's complicated that just makes it a little sweeter when you finally get to the end. So come along on our journey, hit that subscribe button as well, and thank you for being here. We appreciate all of you. I want to do a countdown to our favorite methods, and number 10 is the use of organic fertilizers that we purchase. And here we've got one of them, tree tone, organic tree tone. I actually keep it underneath this very sturdy pot because if I don't keep it under there, the animals will get in it. That's how it is when you grow in nature. You have to deal with nature. So that's number 10. Using organic fertilizers, plant-specific and tree-specific fertilizers. Method number 9 is a mix of compost of leaves, wood chips, pine needles, whatever we have. And it is basically how we raise the soil level to get above flood level when we have a hurricane. And here you can see that we are growing things directly in them. We have some chia. This is a passion fruit vine. Maypops, the native maypop passion fruit. And then we have some, I think there's bok choy we had here. It's gone to seed, so I'm collecting the seeds. Over here we have some flowers. And it is not the most nutrient dense compost, but it still works, and it is a great soil builder. So this is the basis for our soil building. Method number 9. Composting leaves, wood chips, pine needles, and whatever the forest drops for us. We have these big wood chip piles where local tree trimmers come and drop off wood chips mixed with green leaves. The leaves are composting right here. When I dig into it, you can see it is so hot in here. Put your hand over, you can actually feel the heat. This is one of the older piles where we started digging down into the wood chips, and you can see it is composting. And look at the sweet potatoes. They are loving it, thriving. You can see it is turning into soil over time. The bigger the pile, the faster it composts, and the warmer the temperature, the faster it composts. Method number 8, using plant diversity and cover crops to increase the fertility of our soil. You can see here lots of sweet potatoes. They're acting as a cover crop on the wood chip piles, and we have some chia. We've got shampoo ginger growing right here next to the banana trees, a chia right behind it, some flowers in the front. We've got a bunch of Mexican sunflowers, Titonia flora. We have a little local tree in here. You can see this chia needs to be cut down because while it's helping with soil fertility, it is also taking over the space where the locust needs to grow. And avocado, more chia. We have some ginger coming up here in the ground. Next to chia, sweet potatoes, beauty berries, taro in the back here, and of course, oh, look at this. This is the mulberry tree that was just cut down. If you see a most recent video about garden vandalism, yes, someone chopped this down. Look at it. But it is coming back. It is thriving. It's surviving. This is how nature does it. This is an area that we just let grow wild on top of a wood chip pile. We've got lots of Florida betony. The blackberries are going crazy. Cell-seeded elderberry, Biden's alba. This is how nature wants to plant, and we're just trying to mimic what nature does. We grow our fruit trees in big nursery pots. We have learned that if we don't plant something, nature will. Here you can see we're trying to cover crop one of the big nursery pots. We've got some African blue basil in here, a self-seeded tomato, and then you can see nature will plant something if we don't. Here we have some salvia we planted in here. Lettuces. We try to grow lettuces wherever we can. We also grow a lot of chives and garlics. Not only does it help with building up the soil in our big pots, it also helps with pest pressure. We grow French marigolds in our fig pots. We also have some violets and clovers. We're just trying to increase the soil biology in every one of our pots. It is a process, but it definitely helps. You can see how lush these fig trees are, even though they're grown in pots. And a lot of these are actually cuttings from this winter. We did a video on how to grow fig cuttings in water. I'll see if I can put the link up. And these are just thriving in their own pots now. Here's one of our in-ground beds. We have Mexican sunflowers, firebush. We're growing some new color trees below here. We've got some small rosemary cuttings, cranberry hibiscus. We planted tomatoes, some maypop, passion fruit vines growing in here. Then we have lemongrass, and that is just how we plant our beds. Interplanting, adding plant diversity, and thereby letting the plants provide nutrients to each other. Some people would say that they're competing against each other, but it really seems that they're happy together. I read somewhere that you should not plant tomatoes with blueberries, but sometimes nature does that. And this little blueberry plant is a very new blueberry plant, and while it's still small, it's actually the same size as the other ones we put in the pots at the same time. But look at this tomato plant. It is providing so many tomatoes, and look how big it's growing, and we're just letting it. It is so healthy in this little blueberry pot that we of course keep on adding nutrients to by using the methods we're showing you today. Method number 7 is growing comfrey. We have some comfrey plants right here. I had to put in this agave because we have an armadillo that keeps on coming in and digging up this moringa bed. But in the moringa bed we've planted some comfrey to help bring the nutrients up from below, because comfrey has a huge taproot that goes way down and then pulls up the nutrients from below. And since this bed is on a raised section, we wanted to bring the soil biology from below up to the surface so that the moringa tree can benefit from it. And so method number 7 is planting comfrey. Now that I'm talking about comfrey, I just want to add that you should never digest comfrey. We only use comfrey as a fertilizer in the garden, but we do not eat it. So make sure to have plant tags and identify what you have growing so no one else comes into your garden and picks the comfrey, because it shouldn't be eaten. Method number 6, making your own compost tea using what you have in the food forest, on your farm, in your garden. This is a mix of comfrey, sweet potato leaves, Mexican sunflowers, and some chicken manure we added in there. It is not a wonderful smell, but it is a wonderful homemade fertilizer. We have several of these buckets, some around the house, some here in the food forest. Just make sure that you have a lid on that cannot easily get knocked off, because number 1, it smells. Number 2, if you do not have a lid on, you will get mosquitoes. We don't want that. So that is method number 6 that we use, and it's a very important one. Make your own fertilizers. Compost tea. I come in and I stir in this buckets every once in a while, once a week, whenever I remember, and we just let it sit for at least 3 weeks, sometimes even more, depending on when we remember that we have it or when we need it. It is just a great way to add nutrients to your garden without any chemical inputs. Here's a little bonus tip. Bonus fertilizer, ash. I forgot to add that in our compost teas we also add ash. We just use our wood grill and we collect branches from the surrounding area, and that is the ash that we use to add into our compost teas. This is nature's way of adding ash to the soil, I guess. It's a scary way though. We had a wildfire here across from our property. Thankfully no one's homes burned down or got damaged. A neighbor spotted the wildfire early and the fire service were able to come in and extinguish it, thankfully. You can see over here, you can see more of it. This muscadine grape that we took cuttings from last year, half of it got burned down, but it's still surviving. It is amazing. Nature is amazing. But yeah, it's a bit too close for comfort. but it's also a reality check that you have to try to fireproof your home as much as possible. So that is just a bonus tip. Add ash to your homemade fertilizers and you will be rewarded. Method number 5, chop and drop. You've probably already heard about chop and drop. It's a very basic concept that entails growing plants that produce a lot of leaf material, then chopping it and using it to fertilize your other plants. This is one of our favorite chop and drop plants, the shell ginger, because it grows so fast and produces so much green material, and we use it especially around our bananas, but wherever we can. All we do is chop it down and collect it and bring it back to the garden. When you look in here, you can see how the shell ginger is actually adding material where it's growing and building up the soil around itself. I try to get the stuff that's suffer damage over the winter, the yellowing leaves or eaten up leaves. That's what I usually get, and then it just makes the plant even healthier. Sweet potatoes is another chop and drop for us. We grow them everywhere we can because our chickens love sweet potato leaves. But even just chopping down the old banana leaves and adding them next to your banana trees, that is the same concept of chop and drop, and it works perfectly. The Mexican sunflower keeps on growing and growing, and every once in a while we'll come in and cut it down. It will provide more, and will just grow up from where we cut it. I don't want to cut too much because I don't want to take some of the privacy away. The only thing about the Mexican sunflower is that you got to be careful because the branches might actually start growing from where you leave them. So what we do is we peel up the leaves, use them for chop and drop, and then usually we stick down the branches in the ground and make more. I'm checking for snakes, but I definitely need to come in and chop down this chaya as well. It's a good chop and drop plant. You can see I chopped down the chaya pretty low. It will grow back and it will send out branches from the remaining trunk, but the local tree will now get more sun while the chaya will come up again and produce more. I left most of the Mexican sunflower just because we want the privacy in the back. See, I have a wagon full of green vegetation. Most of what I'm going to use as chop and chop, I will strip the leaves just like this and use these, and then I will make more plants just like this. We've got a bunch of chop and drop materials, and we just throw it down around the plants. That's all we do. I'm gonna watch out for this little banana and little pumpkin that's growing in here, but that's how easy it is. Just chop it down and drop it, and it will break down around the plants and provide nutrients for your plants, such as bananas or anything basically. Chop and drop you can do with any plant, and they will all just love it. Method number 3 is vermicompost, aka worm compost. We have these bins everywhere. We have a video up showing you how to make this bin, and we just can't have enough vermicompost because it is one of the best methods of fertilizing your plants without using any chemical fertilizers. Now that leads us to method number 3, which is vermicompost tea. One of the reasons why we like making our own worm bins is because we can create this worm compost tea compartment, and it is so easy to just turn on the switch, and there you have vermicompost tea. Simple, natural, easy. That's how we like it. And our plants thrive because of it. The only problem we have with using worm compost tea as a fertilizer is that we don't have enough of it. So we keep on trying to make more worm compost bins, and in time maybe we'll have enough. Our second favorite natural fertilizer is using non-composted chicken manure. We just take it straight from the chicken coop. You see we have some hay here with it, and just drop it around banana trees. But most trees and plants can't handle the hot chicken manure. So for most plants and trees you need to compost it. But for bananas and papayas we just put it straight on. Our absolute favorite method for fertilizing our plants naturally is the soil from our chicken run. This is a mix of composted chicken manure, composted leaves, greens, and all the food that we throw out to them, all the greens that we give them. It is just the best fertilizer we have. It is like gold. We just add it to our plants like this. We do not sift it, we don't do anything to it. And it is one of the reasons why we have volunteers tomatoes everywhere. But that's just a good problem to have. Let's give some to our plum trees. They are producing amazingly. Look at all the plums we have. See if I can get underneath the net. That's a little tricky. See, we have one that's changing color up there. It's almost time to start picking plums, and this year we'll get lots of them because we have the net up. That is a victory in the organic garden. Look at all these plums. No synthetic fertilizers or chemicals used, just natural homemade fertilizers, and it is just producing so many plums. Here's another bonus from using compost and composted soil from the chicken run. We've got a volunteer strawberry plant. We'll take that one too. Thank you, nature. Moringas like to be fed, and I will feed them. We also have some clover growing in here. If you don't already have chickens and your garden, I want to encourage all of you to at least consider raising your chickens. Not only will you get delicious eggs that you know was grown without chemicals, fertilizers, hormones, but it is such a great resource for the garden. We had a period of 6 months at one point where we did not have any chickens, and the garden did not produce as much, and it just didn't look happy. Once we got chickens again, it was an amazing transformation. Rainwater and chicken compost, it is a combination that will make your garden thrive. So I guess that's another bonus one. Rainwater. Give your garden rainwater and it will thrive. That is how we do it. That's how we grow our fruit trees and edible plants without using any synthetic or chemical fertilizers. It's cheap, it's affordable, and we know what we have put into our trees and our plants, and thereby we know that our fruits and our foods are healthy, and we feel good about what we can serve our family. It is freeing to grow your own food without chemicals. It truly is. And if you have to start somewhere, That's where you need to start. Remove the synthetic fertilizers and then remove the pesticides that you use on your plants. That is where you can start. Look at these ice cream bananas. Chicken manure, wood chips, compost from the chicken run. And yes, that's why we have more volunteer tomatoes. We'll take them. Thank you for watching, and thank you for making the world a little greener.